Hello, everyone. We are back here with more Open Forum on the Women's Radio Network. You guys know that I am your host, Bridget Grayson, and I've had a very special show for you guys this morning. So my next guest is another amazing guy. I'm happy to have him here, and he's actually my last guest for this morning's show. His name is Jon Pfeiffer, and he is a managing partner of Pfeiffer, Fitzgibbon, and Zontis, and that's in Santa Monica, California. Good afternoon, Jon. How are you today?
I am good. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. Thanks for asking, and thank you for being on the show with us today. We're happy to have you here.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, of course. You're welcome, Jon. So, as I just mentioned, you are a managing partner of Pfeiffer, Fitzgibbon, and Zontis. So can you tell us a little bit about that, what you guys do there and what you're all about?
Well, my practice is primarily representing studios and production companies dealing with disputes over feature films or television shows.
Oh, wow. So that sounds interesting.
Well, it does make for better stories. It primarily it is fighting over distribution rights or profits or anything related to the making of the film.
Oh, wow, awesome. So, what would you say are, some of these other services or resources, that you might provide for the clients that you work with, Jon?
But it all relates to agreements, when people have agreements. So it's any time someone will breach an agreement with another party. We do represent some businesses as well, because it's all at the heart of enforcing promises that people have made to each other in a business context or in a motion picture context.
Yes, definitely. That is very important to hold up to these agreements. So, it's great that you're out there and you're helping people, kind of making them do that in a sense, to say. So, Jon, I want to ask you, though, how did this all start for you? What was the motivation for you behind, getting into law and, this type of law specifically?
Well, I describe myself as the most unlikely entertainment lawyer you'd ever find, because I grew up on a farm in Nebraska.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't something that I dreamed of doing. I just wanted to be in trial, to go to trial. And then 20 years ago, someone I had tried a case with called me up one day, and he was now general counsel at a production company, and asked me if I'd be interested in doing their work. I said, well, of course. And that has kind of led to what I do, because it is all about relationships. It is when people get to know you, when people get to like you, and when they get to trust you, they'll refer you to other people that have a problem, and it's just kind of grown that way.
Yes, definitely. And as we know, especially now, me being out of college and being older now, I've come to realize, you don't realize it when you're younger, but that is how the world works, is off of a lot of, connections and networking. Like you said, people who know you, get to know your work, that is very important in any field that you're in.
No, I will echo that as well, because I was on a panel yesterday at Pepperdine Law School, and they asked, what advice would you give to first-year law students? And I said, oddly, it's not going to seem what you think it is. It is build relationships, because you're going to be in the business for a long time, and you're going to know people. You're going to run across them over and over. Your reputation is so important that you want to build those relationships, and you don't want to do anything that is going to send, just be negative. You just don't want to do that.
Yes, definitely. It's always good to have a positive attitude, and like you said, just build those relationships, because they are so important. And especially being, in law, it's important to have a good reputation. So that is something that, I totally agree with you on, Jon. And also, just speaking on, what you do there, at your firm and at your practice, and, the people that you represent, what is maybe, you don't have to go into great length and detail, because I'm sure it's a very thorough process that you go through, but what is, the process when, someone comes to you with a, dispute or something that they need assistance with? How do you go about approaching that?
Well, I like to have people come in, and we talk on the phone first to see if there is something I can help them with, but then to have them come in and talk through the problem, because many times there may be other solutions that the client hasn't thought of. I mean, people immediately say, well, let's sue. Sometimes that's what you have to do. That's the only recourse. But other times there are solutions that are there that you don't think of. So I take a client in, we sit down, and we go through all their paperwork. We go through the story. We try to flesh out what happened. And then that's when we sit down and we go through options. I mean, because there's always options of what to do. And sometimes the option is to do nothing. They realize that okay, there wasn't an. This is one of those instances where the best thing to do is to walk away from it. And then other times, I mean, it's what keeps me in business. The best option is to file a lawsuit. So we'll go through and we try to help them pick the best long-term business solution for what their ultimate aim is, what their goal is.
Yes, and you know, that's a great thing to hear, John. You know, like I said, this is a very thorough process that you go through, but also, you know, you give these people different options, so it's not just looking out for yourself and, you know, what would in turn help you get the most money. Like you said, sometimes the best option for them is to do nothing. So, you know, that is great to hear that you actually listen to, you know, the issue that they're having and try to find the best thing that would suit them best, or the best move that to say would be the best move for them.
Right, because the short run option of just suing, whether that's the best thing or not, could turn out in 6 months that the client realizes, you know, I really should have just done nothing. Or I'm really glad I took action now. But it is really important to do that assessment up front.
Yes, definitely. And you know, John, just from being in this business, and you know, you rep a lot of you know, companies in the entertainment industry and people in that business. You know, are there any, you know, maybe crazy situations that you have seen, or you know, crazy types of disputes that, you know, the normal you know, person in law wouldn't, you know, usually encounter?
Well, we had a couple of years ago, I got a call from 5 of the actors that used to be on the show Happy Days. And Marion Ross, the mother on Happy Days, was in Las Vegas and saw her image on a slot machine. And she said, I'm not getting any money for that. So we ended up suing CBS, who had acquired the rights to the Happy Days property. We ended up suing CBS for the use of 5 actors' image on the slot machines and then also on DVDs, because they were using the images on the DVDs to help sell the DVDs. So that was a little bit off the beaten path. Yeah. Yeah.
So is that? I didn't even know that you could, you know, sue someone for, you know, using your image on a slot machine. That's interesting.
they had, because they were. You know, you see when you go to Las Vegas or you go to any casino, there's all these different people's images there, and they were under contract. The company that was using it knew they were supposed to pay them. They just didn't pay them.
Oh wow!
So it was one of those where, can you imagine walking through and all of a sudden you see your picture on a slot machine? It's like, oh, I wonder how that got there.
Yeah, right. Oh my gosh, that is so funny. Well, that's a great story, John. I'm sure you have so many more of those just interesting stories just from being in this business. But, you know, thank you so much for, you know, being on the show and just sharing, you know, all the great work that you do, you know, in regards to, you know, yourself and your practice. You guys truly do some great work and care about your clients. So thank you for coming on here and sharing that with us today.
I appreciate it. This was fun.
Oh, yes, definitely. Before you go, John, I just want to remind everyone I'm speaking with Jon Pfeiffer, who is the managing partner of Pfeiffer, Fitzgibbon, and Zontis. Is that correct, John? Did I say that right?
It's close enough.
Okay, and that's in Santa Monica, California. So if you guys want to find out more about John, more about his practice, you can definitely reach out to him. So you can give him, you can visit the email address. Actually, the email address is, not the email address, the website. Sorry. Yes, so the website is PfeifferLaw.com. Yes. So, okay, give him a call. So the number is 310-451-5800. Shoot him an email. So the email address is Pfeiffer@PfeifferLaw.com. That's Pfeiffer @PfeifferLaw.com. and check out the website. So the website is www.PfeifferLaw.com. Again, that's spelled PfeifferLaw.com. All right, guys, so there you have it. Definitely reach out to Jon. He does some amazing work. Thank you so much for being with us today on the show again, Jon. It was truly been a pleasure talking to you today.
Thank you. It has been a pleasure.
Oh, you're welcome. You have a great day. Bye. All right, guys, so that's all the time we have for this morning's episode of Open Forum here on the Women's Radio Network. So as I told you guys, I had some amazing guests come through. They were really great. You know, Jon, speaking with him, he was amazing. And all of our guests this morning were great. And we have some more guests lined up for you guys later on this afternoon at 2 o'clock. So don't go anywhere. Make sure to come back and join us for more Open Forum here on the Women's Radio Network, WRNW1.com.